there, because at the bottom of the screen is my website, marytoarch.com. And please go to my website and download a copy of my original Mexican skull artwork. And then there's also a video that is on my website that explains how I've gone step by step in creating the process and the thinking process. And sometimes I wasn't thinking too much of Mexican skulls. So do that. And also I want to remind you that on Thursday we are painting Creve Core Rower. Yay! Look at that hunk. Muscle man. I made sure I put plenty of muscles on this young guy. Anyways. Okay. Putting the finishing touches on Mexican skull. I've already done one copy, and I put the painting in acrylics just because I wanted to get the colors done. I wanted to make sure, using my color wheel, that I had all the perfect colors side by side and the right values and shades. So that's what I want you to do. That's really my biggest advice I can give you into being a good artist, is to use the color wheel. Because if your colors are off, then the painting won't look well, or good, or great, or any of that stuff. So what I did was I began with, this is a 22 by 28 canvas, rather large, the largest canvas I've done in a while. And I've already done my sketch on it of the skull. I wanted the skull to hide the word Jesus in it. And I'm going to show you where one of the S's is. It's right here on the top of the hat. You have to find out where the remaining letters to Jesus are. They are in there, folks. You have to look for them. Look for Jesus. He wants to be found. Then, in creating the skull, I wanted some dimension and planes and contours and all that good stuff in there. And then I wanted a big old sombrero that reminded me of a boat. And so that is what I had to reach down and grab my paints. That is how I started this process. And now let's finish it. So I'm going to begin with, I'm using oils, and I'm going to put the oil colors that I'm using on my website. And I want you to check out the colors, because I am using a little different colors than I normally do. I'm going to go up here to the top and start off with my lighter colors, because this head has gotten like a really lighter color in here. This is sort of a fleshy color. I'm taking my brush and then I'm moving it, of course, but I'm jiggling it. Wiggling, jiggling, just to get around here, so I try not to go outside the lines that I've created. And that needs to be just a little bit lighter. No, actually it doesn't. So I'm going to go around the nose, and this part here is a little lighter, so I'm going to go light on my strokes. This is a fleshy color, and like I said, I've used colors here that I don't normally use, just because I think it's important to get the colors down when you're creating. Going down the side of the nose, we call it the wings of the nose. No, the nose does not fly, but it does have wings. Coming in, taking my angle brush and moving it out slightly. Now I'm going to go to a little bit darker color. I'm adding some white, and I created a brown using red, yellow, and blue, sorry. And I'm going to go right here. Oops, that is way too dark. I picked up something. Looks like a little bit of blue. I want to get rid of that, so I'm going to go over it again. That's much better. It's still a little bit darker than I like, but that's all right. There are no mistakes. That's going to give me a nice contour in the forehead, bringing that paint down, adding a little bit lighter pink Of course, the pink is red and white, create that pinkish color. So I'm going to come down here. Oh, too dark. Go down here again. This is another part of the skull, the contour of the head. And then a little bit lighter. Lighten that up and just bring it in here. Making sure that I'm going sideways in the top of the skull because the skull is rounded, right? And we want those round strokes. So getting that in there, giving it some nice tones. And then I want a little bit of that pink back, but not quite as much. Maybe. I'm a woman, I can change my mind, right? Okay, that's just a little bit darker than I wanted, but I like it. I like having that really dark tone, making the forehead go back, which is what you want to do in your artwork. You want to move things around with your colors, moving things backwards by using your greens and your blues, moving things forward using your reds and your yellows. All right, I'm looking over here at the side to the painting that I have finished. So if you see me looking, it's not because I have a stiff neck. It's because there's something back there that I want to see. Now I want a little tiny bit darker on that. Just a little to differentiate where the nose comes in. That came out kind of dark, darker than I wanted. Then I'm going to bring it out here. This is the cheekbone. We're going to give this skull, some Mexican skull, some rosy cheeks. I'm going to lighten that up because I don't want it quite that dark. Then I'm going to come in here. Let's see, I've gone around the nose, and I wanted to use some of that color down here, but I need a different brush, and this brush has so much paint on it. Shame, shame, shame. I'm going to get a little smaller brush to get in some of that fine detail around the chin. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Where did you go? Over here, of course. Going down to the chin should be light because it pops out from the bottom. And that's what makes it pop out is you see the light. So I'm going with a little bit darker color in there. Bringing my brush up, jiggling it, going down into the chin part. And then I want to go lighter with almost like that pinkish color I had earlier. And come in here. And that's actually too light. Too dark. Come down here. There we go, much better. All right. Now this painting will be for sale on my website, marriedart.com. So if you have an interest in skulls, you like skulls, this is the painting for you. All right, do I have all my pinks in? I'm looking at my sample, and it looks like I do. Okay. Go to the next part is my tan color. Now I'm saving this moon. This is a moon that's going around the head, and I did it in the red, yellow, and green. Red, white, and green, because those are the Mexican colors, red, white, and green. And I wanted to do the colors, Hispanic colors, and so, you know, when you're doing research, go in and find out what are the colors, what's the culture, you know, even find out the religion, anything that's going to help you in your creative process. Okay, let me go back to this brush. I'm just going to put a different color on it. I'm pressing down hard because I want to get it pointed. And so this is probably my darkest color here. It's sort of a dark brown, and that's going back here because I want that skull to really go back. Pushing my paint into the prior paint. And then if you've been following me, you know that what I do is I do a dry brush where I start mixing the edges together, giving it a really, really nice blend. I'm going to go in with another stroke, going this way here, making it go back. But I do want to divide that just a little bit. So I'm going to add a slight bit of pink in there, just to show you there's a division in colors. And that did divide the colors there. Going back and forth in circular motions with my brush. I do finish the painting off camera, so you won't see it until I post it on my website. So do check at the bottom of your screen where you can go to find out more information. Now I want to go down here. I want to go a little bit lighter in here, so I put a lighter color in, a lighter shade. I want to go even a little bit more lighter just to differentiate the colors, give it some depth, and it is doing that. Coming down here, same thing. Then it comes, this skull is going to come down here. You're going to have, if you go into Charles Bernard, and he is a really good artist who has a online art academy. I think that's his academy. And he tells about contours of the face. And you should put those definitely in when you're doing skulls to make it more realistically. Now you can see I'm not getting as close to the edges because I'm going to blend those out, not losing my pattern or my shape. Woohoo! I got a good shape. It'd be better if I'd even diet and exercise more, but I do diet and I do exercise. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in here just to give that some color. Blending my strokes up very nicely, going into those pinks. And this goes right here. And then around the ear, I'm going to go a little bit lighter, drop down that color. Actually, it probably should be a little bit darker because that would be in the shade. Bringing that color down in here into the jawline. I want to say hi to my sis, Chris. Hi, Chris. She's watching. Now the same color over here on this part here. I'd also like to give a shout out to Dave, who bought my Mexican showgirls painting. Now the neck is a little, I'm going to just add a little bit of that color in there because I can. It's my painting. I can do whatever I want. Okay. And what else do I want to do? I need to get a smaller brush. I just love cleaning brushes. Wrong. I need to get in closer, so I might be blocking your view for a second. And I also need to thin down this paint because I need it really, really thin. So, where did you go? Here it is. I did it with this Bob Ross. It's called Bob Ross Clear Oil Paint. That's really what I use. It was came in a package. It was cheap, fairly cheap. I don't want to drop this, so I'm going to be in your face for a second. Okay. Fleshies. What color am I looking for? That fleshy color? Yes, around the ears. Okay. Getting old. I should have Mexican music that I paint to all the time. I love Mexican music. But it's hard to get some free stuff where I don't have to pay and I won't get sued. As I'm painting, I want you to look for the hidden Jesus letters. Tell me if you found them. Always using circular strokes when you're doing around circles. Straight strokes when you're doing flat areas, of course, like shadows are definitely straight strokes. And that's hard to say. I bet you can't say that 10 times in a row. Bring in some of that in there. I'm just kind of blending it in with this little bitty brush. Now you can see the shape. It's taking shape. Does it look like a skull? Yes, it does. I see it in my monitor. That looks like a pretty good skull. Okie dokie. Go down around the chin, bring some of that pretty pink in. I've even using the same brush, and I see my apron just does not want to cooperate well. Going in, pulling in some of that color, resting my hand on the canvas, but not too much. I don't like to put any dents in the canvas. I use a maul stick, and a maul stick is just something I made with a stick and a sock on the end, and it helps to give me balance. I take it for a walk, and I'm just kidding. It's a stick I use in painting. I find anything that is going to be helpful, I try it, believe me. I don't have a problem. Now on the one that is online on my site right now, the acrylic painting, I'll show it to you later. It does have fake teeth on it. And they look so real. It's just amazing. I bought something called Temp Tooth off Amazon, $6. You put it in some little beads in boiling water, and they just kind of connect together, and then you pull it out while it's not too hot, and then mold it into a tooth, and it's perfect. It looks so real. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on this painting, but you let me know what you think. Should I or shouldn't I? Okie dokie, let's go back to work. I'm going to go into the pink because I want to start getting some of these edges blended together. I need a little more oil on there, make it work, blending it in. Trying to keep the brush in the crook of your hand, it gives you a lot more stability. I got that color on the brush, so I might as well go down there. That's just something I've learned over the years. Little tricks of the trade, folks. My little secrets that I share with my friends. Going a little bit lighter with that that turquoise or turquoise brown color. Then I want to go even lighter, right on this spot, right here. Blend, blend, blend. Oh, if only I had a blender that could blend without me doing anything. But there is such a thing, and it's called you pay for it. You pay somebody to do the work, and you reap the benefits. Wouldn't that be nice? No, not for me, because I love painting, and it would take all the fun out of it. And I'm going to lighten it up, just a little bit of yellow in there. A little bit more. Sort of brings the goldish color into the ear, making the eye work, moving the eye forward. Looking good, feeling fine, looking good, ought to be in Hollywood. Okie dokie, now to go down the head, since a good part of it's done. The red I'll do a little bit later when I pull the reds out. I want to go with the colors that are on the brush. This here, I want to bring just a little bit of that color in there. I want a nice strong chin on my skeleton. Thank you. Always save your background color. I have probably 1/4 of a cup of this background in case you drop paint on the canvas. You don't have to go in and remix everything. You just save it. And then you don't throw it away, because I am a retired teacher. I don't throw away anything that's usable. I just mix it together and make another color. Yay! Okie doke. Back into my fleshy tones. And I'm going to lighten this up a little bit on my brush. I like that color, so I'm going to do it again. It's probably just a little bit lighter than the original, so I'm just going to lighten it a little bit. The best time to fix your colors, if you make a mistake, say you went outside the line or something, the best time to fix it is when the paint is still wet. Because if you wait, then the paint won't move. But the paint, well, you'll stay wet for quite some time, so you can move those puppies around. All right, go back in and get a little more pink and make it even more white, because I'm blending it into a beautiful, beautiful violet color. I think I want to add just another dot of white. And my green is starting to bleed into my white. I hate that when that happens. I could probably use another brush, but I am just too lazy to change it, and I don't want to clean all these brushes. Now, if you go into my digital downloads, I do need to remind you, my dear friends, that first of all, I have over 55, is that right on the screen? I don't know. It looks like it goes backwards. 50 video demos on YouTube. You can find them on YouTube. I'm starting to put them on my website. And when you go in to download this image, this sketch or drawing, then you'll find that you have to pay $5. Now, $5 is nothing, right? How long have I been teaching you? A long time. So please do go in and download those sketches. Try these. You know, I have colors that I've already worked out. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is pay $5. Nothing, right? Don't be a cheapskate. Okie doke. Now to my beautiful violet color. Oh, I love that color. And that's going to take a little bit bigger brush. This reminds me of many, many Easters ago when I made my daughters some Easter outfits. And they had these beautiful lavender colors in it. Oh, yes. Okay. Start at the top, go along the line using an angler brush. Just kind of pushing it in there. Not too worried about it. Hey, am I staying in the lines? This isn't a coloring book, folks. Looks like I got a little hair, a little long hair on my brush. All right, now, when you're putting this in, because I have a background color of yellow and purple go well together. So I don't have to worry too much about blending all that stuff in there to cover that color up completely, because I don't need to. I've already done the prep work, and I said, you know, I don't want to go in all these little places that are really hard to get to because there's a butterfly in here. I want to make my life easy peasy is what I say. So I'm not going to be going in and doing that butterfly while I'm teaching a demo, because it's just too hard. It's easier for me to sit at the table and rest my arm to get a lot of leverage. So I'm just going to give you a sample today, and you can always go to my website, marriedtoart.com, and find what it looks like when it is completed. Okay, back to work. I can see I mixed up way too, oh, that's really dark. How did I get that color? I like it. Okie doke. What I could do is yeah, this is a great idea. One of my little secrets. Don't tell anyone, because I'm excited. I'm going to turn the picture upside down. Did you hear me? And I'm going to have a salute, glass of wine. Then I'll be upside down. Okie doke. So the best thing about a canvas and not having anything around the edges, making sure my hands are nice and clean. I turn the canvas upside down. It also gives you a different, oops, I see I got some on there anyways. Good thing I saved some background color. Okie doke, don't fall, please. Let me wipe that off just a little bit. It's a red and it really does stain. Okay. Why did I turn it upside down? Because it's easier for me to get to do all this here, because it's closer down. It was down here and now it's up in more of my sight. And I like doing things differently. Yes, I recommend it highly. Okay, do I want to get in there with a smaller brush? Yes, I do. And this is the smallest one I can find. Okay, trying not to touch my paint on the bottom. I mixed way too much color. Over prepared. Coming in here, doing some of the design of the butterfly, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. I have paint on my hand and it got stuck in there. And it's right there. Blend it out a little bit. I'm going to go to this side for a second. I can see I have lots and lots of work in these paint strokes. Blending them out. I don't want to get too close to there because I want to keep my pattern in there and not lose my pattern. I got a whole bunch of paint on this one. Whoa! It's thick as mud. I'll pull some of that off before it falls to the floor. You know, when I stop talking, that means I'm really concentrating. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I know you're my friends. Okay, I'm going to blend some of that color out, use my fingers. Try not to lick them later. Okie doke. Now this is the hard part. I never do like doing these big old things, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the red first. Actually, I want to do the green first, because the green is on the bottom to the head, and this green is just a beautiful green. You have to make sure your paints are nice and moist. And I do mean nice and moist. You don't want to do a line and then looks to me like I forgot to put a line in there. Oh well, that's all right. I'm going to start here. I'm going to just kind of tell myself I'm going to push it in there, and then I'm just going to do a line. But before I do the line, I'm going to practice it. It's a good idea to do the practice, because then you get the feel of what the movement is and the circle that I'm making. Okay, are we ready? Here we go. Trying not to spread my brush out too far. Not bad. Then I was just slightly lean down like that. Okay, that looks like my blue. I think that is blue. Okie doke. Well, that was not a good thing to do. Let me try it again, this time with the green. And what I'll have to do, since I picked up the wrong paint, is I'll have to go over it again with the green when it starts to dry a little bit longer. But now, for now, we can still continue to paint because I can see some of the green in there, but it's not as green as I wanted it to. Now I'm going to leave the white there, and I'll do the white later and get into the red. And this green needs to come off a lot more. There's way too much green on this brush, and this is the brush that I really, really want to use. Let's see if I got another one here. I do, but this is going to be my best brush. Okay, plan B. I've got some turpenoid right here, nice and handy, because I knew I'd probably make a few mistakes. And I have this little container that I keep turpenoid in, and I sometimes put it on my palette. It's a handy dandy little thing. So I'm going to put a little turpenoid in, making sure I put the lid on, because sure enough, I will spill it. Not that lid, okay? And then I just take it and clean the brush inside this little container. And put the lid on, because I don't want to spill that either. And I also need to put the lid on this turpenoid. My earring is caught in my shirt. That's why it looks like I got a stiff neck. Okay. Oops. Now let me try to get more of that paint off, and it's coming off. When you're working with oils, you want to have plenty of ventilation. In my studio, I have a fan going because I do not want to inhale all these fumes from turpenoid, even though it is supposedly odorless. I can smell it. And you get it off your hands as quickly as you can as well. It cleans your hands really good, cleans off all the paints. Good thing to have. Okie doke, go back to painting. And I really want to do a different red. So I brought the red over. I have a medium red. And then I dulled it down a little bit, but it almost looks like a rusty red, and I really want a brighter red for this. So I'm going to add a little bit more red onto my palette, which you can't see because it's down too low. Sorry about that. Okay. Get my palette. Try not to put my thumb in my paints. And then just mix these two. See, I put a really bright red, medium red in with this other red that I was planning on using, but changed my mind at the last minute. Tapping down on the brush, making it go to a nice sharp edge. I don't want anything along the edge that's going to put paint on my canvas when I touch it. So I'm going to pull it off again. This is my boogie tissue. Oh no, what am I going to use now? All right. Are we ready? So, practice the stroke first, several times, getting the movement down, and then don't be afraid. You make a mistake, guess what? You can paint over it. Tap. And then letting up on the brush. Not bad. I could probably go over just a little bit more right here. Tap down, making sure my brush is nice and pointy, and it is. Just hold it there for a second and then bring it back the other way. Because I do want a nice sharp edge. Then I can add some of that other color in there. Same thing, practice, practice makes perfect. Oh, got a little bit of red on the inside, but who cares? It's going to be covered up. All right, now we got our nice little red, yellow, and blackish green because it was supposed to be green. Okie doke, set this down and go back to painting. I have that color out, so I guess I should add some of that color to the nose, because the nose has a lot of that rusty color. And that part, I wish my nose over here was upside down, but I can just kind of figure it out. This part here, part at the top is a little bit darker. Trying not to push my finger in to my canvas. I don't want to give it a nice little indentation. Then add, it starts to bleed out, the color starts to fade. Not bleed out, but fade. Right in here. That's not fading. This is fading. I'm going to try to move over so I can give you plenty of room to see. Alright, wiggle the brush. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle the brush in the butt. Now the eyes are the same thing. They have really dark in the middle. And I'll go with the really dark because then I can lighten it up. I might add even a little touch of that black that I thought was green earlier. Perfect. Once again, mixing the colors on my palette, resting my arm on this little drawer that's on the bottom. Sort of a blood red, really dark, beautiful color. I wish you could see that color. Gorgeous. Do it again. Red, red, and a little bit of black. Oh no, I got a big old thing of red on my canvas. Guess what? I saved some paint, so I don't care. But since it's red, I'm going to stop. Guess what? It's time to take another sip. Salute. I knew there was a reason I did that. Okay, let me grab some paper towels. That's water. I don't want water. I want this. Just a little bit of terpenoid on the rag. And this will be painted over. Or we can say it's a blood spot. The skull is bleeding. Wiping my hands because I got red. Red paint all over them, but not anymore. Okie doke. Make sure you take out your trash can afterwards, or you'll be smelling that all night, or the next day when you go into your room, your studio, or you'll be smelling that paint. Okie doke. I think it's time to start blending some of these colors. Okay, this color came out a little bit too much there, so I'm just going to take the brush, blend it out, wipe it off. Remember, the dry brush has no color on it whatsoever. I can even blend it right into this brownish color because it gives me some depth right in there. I'm not getting too close to that circle because I want to leave it alone. These here, this color, I can blend it out. It's still wet. All I'm doing is moving color around and combining the colors so it doesn't look like a coloring book. Same thing here. Taking it when you know you've gone into paint, wiping it off because you do want a dry brush. And you do not want to blend when you're blending dark into lighter colors. You want to go the opposite way. You want to go into light into dark. Now that I need a little heavier brush, so you get the general idea. That's really what I want you to see. I want you to see how do I blend this together to make it look like a Van Gogh painting. I wonder if Van Gogh ever painted any skulls. I doubt it. Okie doke. Now to go in some of the bigger colors. You know I'm not going to finish that during this show. I need to do some white in there. I'm going to let some of that paint dry because I do not want to try to get white in between red and green, blackish green. The color at the very bottom is a purple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my sample upside down, but I'm going to grab it with a paper towel because this puppy is for sale. And I do not want any paint on it other than what is already there. Okay, turned it upside down. Now I can see exactly what I need to do. I pulled that, since this had red on it, I can use it with the purple. Bingo! It went in. Look at all these colors I mix. I mix so much in that color. Oh well, I'll be having plenty of leftovers. Now this is a medium dark purple. So that color goes right in here. So I can just take it and blend it in like that. I'm going to add a little bit of the lighter stuff to it. Keeping my arm rested against the side of my body. Making backwards strokes, up and down strokes, vertical, horizontal, any kind of strokes that you can make. Going back over, putting a little more oil on there because I want it to blend. I want it to be as smooth as icing because then it's easier to move it around. You don't have to worry about it going on the outside. So I'm going to add just a little bit. Of course, that went on the floor. I'm sure you heard it. Am I going to pick it up? No, not now. Okay, back to work. Practicing the strokes always helps. My secret techniques, giving them away. Actually, when I draw, I practice the strokes before I start drawing. I practice. I draw in the air. I do crazy things, believe me. Resting the point, going down and just saying, you know, this is just going to go. I might add a few little extra curves in there, and that's okay. Who cares? It's a sombrero. It's been well worn. That I didn't want to go in. There's a lot of the real thick paint in there. Okay, I'm going to try to pull it out with the corner of the brush, and it worked. Going from top to bottom, from left to right, right to left. I still want to go outside and play. No, outside. But as I indicated, I have saved a lot of the background colors, so when you're cleaning it up, I'll go around the background. I'll go around everything again with my background color. Oh, I see Joan is asking me, what color is that? No, I'm just kidding. I don't have chat yet. I would really like to have chat because I would love to be chatting with you. But I almost need another person in the studio because I concentrate really hard. And sometimes I just need another hand. And my husband will help me occasionally, but not too often. He does make some excellent frames though. This is going to be a really flat color. I want the sombrero to have flat colors. In fact, the video he made on frames will be someday on my website. I know you keep saying, I hear you. You keep telling me that, but it's not there yet. Well, you know, it's hard to be everything. And that's what I tried to tell my husband. I said, well, I can't do it all. I don't have time. I only have so many hours in the day. Okay. I'm going to go back into this little angle brush. I want to clean it off again. And I do want to pick up the lid, because if I drop this, spill it, I already dropped the lid. If I spill it, then I'm going to be upset, because no telling when I would get to replace it. And that's one thing with your supplies. Do not wait until your paints run out, because it is taking forever to get supplies these days. I am telling you, it is taking forever. I won't even mention the company's name I'm dealing with, but I have been waiting and waiting for fabric to make frames for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. That's a long time, folks. 6 weeks. I'm going to use a little bit of the same green, only I wanted it more of a limey green. And it is. Over here are these crossbars, I call them. Going into the purple, but not too much. I don't want purple on my brush, not yet. It will be eventually. Every color gets on my brush. Actually, these colors on the back, they should fade out a little bit, but that's all right. This is a Mexican sombrero. It could be totally different. My sombrero could be totally different from yours. I'm going to bring up the brush up and back a little bit. Tapping in that nice little design. Red and green are some of your best colors. Think of red and green during Christmas time. That's why they go well together. That's why Christmas colors are red and green. They are complementary colors. Or I should more or less say that they make each other pop out, like Popeye. And I know some of you young people do not even know who Popeye is. We won't go there. Okay, it is starting to really look good. I want to brighten it up some, make it even brighter green. So I added a little bit of yellow in here. There's lots and lots of paint on this brush. They should be nice and fat because they're closer, and things that are closer are bigger, fatter. Adding more yellow. Whew. Okay, not in my studio, but I got that air going, but it's still hot under these lights. Okay, I'm going to add more yellow, make this the brightest one here. That came in, that's all right. I probably won't do that part either. At least not during the show. Only so much I can do, folks. Only so much. Okay, the next purple is much darker, so I'm going to add some red to my blue to make the purple darker. Because I forgot I got this little spot here, and that want it to be darker, so I'm going to practice the stroke. Rest it here where I want it to start, just resting it and then just bringing it in there, resting it and bringing it forward, doing a half circle, same thing, going backwards, I turned it around so my point is at the top. I went out just a little bit. Okay. Now I can't get to that other side. Not with this brush, but I can with this one. I love this color. It's gorgeous. This was supposed to be my dry brush, but now it's a wet brush. I was checking to make sure I don't have any red on my hand, so I have to clean that canvas again. Okay, it's just blending those colors together. It went out a little bit, and I see I forgot one. It goes down there. And that one I'm going to make a really light green, even lighter than the other one. Wipe my brush off, get more yellow, yellow, green. Okay, I think I need to go in, yes, with that purple, a little bit more. I didn't do that on the original one, and that's okay. I've changed my mind. I'm going to go in all the way to this yellow, bring that purple in. Using back strokes, just like you're swimming. Now, what I love about doing these kind of strokes is you can take a dry brush and smooth them out. You just get really close to the edge with the dry brush, and then you start smoothing out the strokes. Beautiful. With oils, it works perfectly. Not so good with watercolors, but with oils, you can't beat it. Okie doke. What do I want to do next? I guess I'm going to do that blue, and I can use that same brush. Yay! Okay. I'm going to use that really dark blue, so I need to get a small flat brush. I'll use this one again, setting the paints down. Don't take them, and please don't drop paints. Okay. Dark blue, here we go. This I'll get in later. I'll turn the painting around. I don't want to do that right now. Using a chisel brush, lightening it up just a little bit as I come down here. Doing a backstroke. I missed one of those things there too. Oh well. Okay. Catch it in the post-painting session. And you'll see that I did not put an underpainting on this one. And I know I keep telling you, well, it's a foundation. Well, it is, but these colors were just pretty much solid. And I said, well, I don't really need an underpainting. I know my friends will understand. This oil is like butter. Beautiful, beautiful butter. I'd like to get a little bit closer to that, but I think I'm going to use a dry brush for it. Okay, let me see. No paint on my palm of my hand, so I can get in there, get a little closer. Come over here. get in your face. Alright, that'll work. There's lots and lots of paint still on that brush. Okay. They tell me the drive-in is open. I am a big movie buff, and I can't wait to go to the drive-in. So, I hope that that you get out. I've been getting out. I went to the Arch, the Gateway Arch, in St. Louis, Missouri, over the weekend, and the weather was great. It was bright. It was really early on a Saturday morning, and it was the best time for me because I love taking photographs and put a little boogie in that. I love taking photographs, and I met two motorcyclists who were traveling across the country. Salute. And they were telling me, talking a little bit about their travels, and so it's so interesting to meet different people wherever you go. Be friendly, be generous. The man wanted me to take his picture of him standing and his buddy standing by the arch. And I hesitated because, you know, the virus and everything. But I said, I have to trust God that, I'm not going to get the virus by taking somebody's picture. So I did take it. And I was happy because he was happy. And so off they went. It was a very interesting time. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Okie doke, back to work. Now it looks like it's turning into a green because I have some of that yellow in there, blue and yellow, make green. The more you mix your colors, folks, the better you get. The better you get at mixing, and the better you start understanding, you understand color theory. It's a class I never took, but I have been blending color for ages and just really, where am I going? Okay. I want to make sure I didn't go in too far, and it looks like I'm sticking around the right line. Color, 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 so very, very important to learn that, to learn it well, not just to look at a color chart, but to understand a color chart. Go in there, and it did. It will blend in a little bit later. Is that green? I mean blue? Let's see, I'm trying to look. This is going to be like a black color, so that's why I have the black. Okay, that is dark blue, and that is like black. And I added a little tiny bit. I'm going to just make this all black because I changed it around slightly. And if I decide I don't like it, I can change it back. Now to make a black, you mix together red, yellow, and blue. And it's heavy on the blue normally. There you go. It's hard to concentrate on a big stroke when you're talking. But when you make that kind of a black, it's gorgeous. You can't find that black in the store. You have to make it yourself. Learn to mix your own colors. And one of my secret techniques is to start with like a dime's worth. Don't mix a dollar's worth because then you're going to waste a lot of paint. Just start with a little dime. That'll work. Okay, upside down. Let me get the blue in there. And then I do believe I'm going to stop because I can. I still have some grays to put in here. I still have this color and the flower to do. I'll do that in my post-painting session. Now let me get the dark blue in again. And I'm going to add a little tiny bit of white in there because I want that color to start. And a little tiny bit of red, just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to practice the stroke. Here we go. Woo! Turn it around and bring it up again. Practice a stroke. And take your brush and rest it on the where you want to start, and then just barely push down on the brush. You push too hard, it spreads out the bristles, and then you go outside the lines. So do the outside first, so you have the confidence. And then do the inside. The inside's easy. Everybody likes the inside. I added just a little bit of white in there. Give it some texture and also some depth. All right, shall we turn Mexican skull right side up? Yay! I wish I could show you how I put the teeth on, because I do think I'm going to put teeth on this one too. I just love those false teeth. Fake teeth, I should say, because they just fit in perfectly. Let me do one more time with this, because I don't want red, which happens to be on my hand right now, on my canvas. Takes too many coats to cover up red. Okay, let's talk about the painting. Well, I'm talking, you listen. That sounds like a teacher, doesn't it? All right, there's some imperfections in here. Obviously, I'm going to have to go over the red again with the brush, and then I need to fill that in with white. It's not going to stay that yellow. I got to fix all these brush strokes, because they'll be easier to fix when my hand is resting on a table and a flat surface, and start blending a little bit more. But I love that the skull, it almost has some, you know, like there's a roundness to it, like there's a brain in that skull, which we know is gone because it's a skull. And then the teeth, yes, I'm going to be playing around with the teeth. I have to fill in this flower. I'll do that because there's a lot of detailed work in there, and then fill all this in here, and then fix some of my brush strokes. Why didn't I go to a really fancy background? Because I really wanted, when I planned this, I said, oh, I could do those 2 or 3 colored backgrounds, but I don't want to. I want the skull, which is my design. I took the time to design it, and I like it. And I want it to be the focus. I don't want any background to focus on it. You know, I don't want the eye to travel anywhere, but right in the center. So those are some things that you can plan out. Watch the video if you can go into my website that tells you the thinking process. It's called the creation process. And in the creation process, I go step by step. How did I create the skull? How did it start out? What are some of the thoughts? How did I get the colors and come up with all of those different things? Please do visit marriedart.com at the bottom of your screen, because I have many, many paintings and things that I love to share with you. And I do have some free things, and so you can download those free. I live stream to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, amigos, amigas, everybody, you know, any one platform I can find, I will live stream to. A couple of painting tips: mix small amounts of colors when you're cleaning your brush. Make sure you're pulling the paint off the brush before you clean it, so all that paint isn't going down your drain. Use a dry brush to move colors around. When the colors are still wet, because once they're dry, then you have to just paint over it, right? Don't believe the lies that the devil wants to tell you that you can't be successful, because yes, you can. I guarantee it. If you just put your heart and soul into it, and you paint like crazy every day, and you get so good, everybody's going to want to buy those paintings. Yay! So just keep it up. Keep it going. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Make sure you call your neighbors, call your family, your friends, call Uncle George, Aunt Betsy, call your sister Chris. Hello, Chris. Call whoever in your family. Go through your names. Somebody you haven't talked to in a while in your contacts. Give them a call. Now, when you want to download Mexican Skull, which you should for $5, free classes, right? Who else is giving free classes, live free classes? Go into my website, maritaart.com, click on menu, catalog, photography for digital, downloads, and Mexican Skull. Hola, hola, ha, yeah, yeah, woohoo! And guess what else I got? Yes, here we go. Here we go, and turn on some Mexican music, and let me see how I do it. Please work. It worked earlier. I know you heard it. All right, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. It is coming really soon. It is on its way, and there it is, right there, folks. Yep, that's not it. Right there, folks. That's it. Turn on. Reminder, we are doing Creep Core Rower, that really hunky guy, all those muscles, and believe me, I put some extra muscles in that guy. I'm going to be doing a silhouette of him. I would love for you to join me. We have changed days to Tuesday and Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Time. Ay, ay, ay! Woohoo! Give God glory. He deserves it. Trust Him with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might. And I'm going to put on a slide because I can and I want to. These are the colors right here. I'm putting them on the screen. You can take a shot with your cell phone of the colors, or you can message me if you have an interest in buying this picture. Do message me right away, because I do have two. I have the one that is acrylics and the other one that is on a canvas with oils. So let me know which one you would like. And thank you, and God bless. Will somebody turn out the lights? Oh, I forgot I'm the only one in the studio.